So, welcome to this intermediate lesson where it's like an introduction really to the future, and we're going to go deeper into this and we're going to practice and practice over the next few weeks. But here's some good information for you. There's what we've done here. We've looked at future with going to, the future simple with will, and the present continuous, just to see some of the differences between them. We use future with going to when you've made a plan or decision, when you've made it at some point in the past. Remember, it's important to use after I am going to, or he is going to, that you use the infinitive before you continue the sentence. Remember that auxiliary verb changes depending on the subject. So I am, you are, he is, she is, it is, we are, and they are. Then it's always the same after that, going to, and then the infinitive of whatever verb you're using. So in this instance, I'm going to fly to Germany in June. It's a plan. It's already a decision that's been made. The tickets have already been bought. It's that much of a plan. The next is future simple or future with will. Some people call it one or the other. And one of the reasons we use it is for a prediction with no evidence at all. One example that you guys gave was, it will rain tomorrow. Made probably without looking at the weather forecast. I'm sure you're wrong. I'm sure it'll be sunny tomorrow. Yeah, but you might be right, I might be right, but we really have no idea. It's the weather. My favourite one is England will win the next World Cup. What a prediction to make. We really have no idea. The other reason we use the future simple with will is for a spontaneous decision. Apologies for my spelling. So this is the classic. I see this in so many books. Phone's ringing, oh, I'll get it. You haven't thought about it, you just make a decision without thinking. Very spontaneous, and everyone has that word in their language in some way, shape or form. The last one is present continuous, and this is to do with a future arrangement. Now, although I wrote between people, which is how we use it, it's a plan. These two, future with going to and present continuous, are very, very similar. You can use either really, but we're going to look at some of the subtleties, and we're going to go through them, and I'm going to force you to use the different language and listen to the different language as well. Now over here are just some examples of this one's interesting because we tend to say gonna instead of going to. It's much easier, so we say I'm gonna buy some. But remember, although we say that, I don't think it's a good idea to write it. Remember, in written form, you should write I'm going to. Even if when you're reading that, you could say I'm gonna. That's fine. And this is very common English, that's fine. Something else we're going to look at over the next few weeks is the contracted form of I will, because English people just don't say I will, you will, he will. We use I'll. We contract, and we very rarely use the word will, except if we're asking a question. Will you come out with me tonight, for example? Here's an example of present continuous, just to reiterate about this auxiliary verb to be, how important it is when you use the present continuous to use the auxiliary verb to be before you use the continuous form. And of course, if you put this into the past, you could change this to past continuous. But let's not look at past continuous, let's look at present continuous, because for the next few weeks we're going to be looking at the future over and over again. Great.